Hello there guys and welcome to this weekend's live streams for IFMC pre-season. I'm JWF1 and we are here for the first day of pre-season testing here at the Circuito de Jerez circuit. If you didn't see what happened last weekend at Paul Ricciardo, very interesting days, but at the moment it was looking quite close between the Etiads, the EMRs and the Eldorados, with Hamilton topping 2 of the days, with Vettel topping day 2 and Leclerc in the Eldorado topping day number 3. Will these three be very close today or will they be joined by somebody else? GRM look to be very strong as well. Whether they can keep that up in a ref, we'll have to wait and see, of course, but it should hopefully be a very interesting day. Bright and sunny conditions here at the Circuito DRF Angel Nieto circuit, as it's now been renamed. So before we get underway, let's have a look at the driver list for today, for day number 1 here at Jerez. So let's get on with it, shall we? So, at Etihad BMW, you're going to be seeing Lewis Hamilton and Daniel Ricciardo. EMR, Sebastian Vettel and Nico Hulkenberg. Over at Eldorado, you'll be seeing Charles Leclerc and Valtteri Bottas. Bud Light Lime, Romain Grosjean and Danica Kvyat. GRM, Esteban Ocon and Will Power, followed by at Suomi, Kimi Räikkönen and Patrick Kajala. Martini, Antonio Giovinazzi and Giuliano Alesi. AMP, Pascal Wehrlein and Stoffel Vandoorne. British Airways Racing, Scott Dixon and Rubens Barrichello. Shadow, you'll be seeing Pierre Gasly and Carlos Sainz Jr. And over at Mars Grand Prix, you'll be seeing Ed Jones and Hiroki Ashura. So, they are the drivers taking part in today's test for Jerez. As mentioned earlier, bright and sunny conditions. So, I think without further ado, let's get to the first day here at Jerez. So, here we are then in the pit lane, and we're going to go to the end of the pit lane with Rubens Barrichello, it seems, unless there's somebody in front of him. No, it is Rubens Barrichello, so we'll wait and get this session underway. And it is, of course, an hour session, the TV graphics in full view, and who's going to be the first to get out onto the track here at the Circuito DRF Angel Nieto. And it's in fact Barrichello who are running. In fact, looks like the Suomi behind him is also getting ready to go as well, as the V12 fires up in the BAR now then, as Barrichello makes his way out of turn 1 now then, and heading into turn 2 he goes, as Barrichello prepares himself to start his first flying lap now then, as he makes his way around through the section of corners now then. Barrichello up towards the right-hander he goes then, the medium speed right-hander. Lewis Hamilton had a crash there 5 years ago in the Mercedes, and I think he had a brake failure of some sort at 170 miles per hour, I think it was. Very lucky not to get injured from that accident, it must be said. Will Power in the GRM is out on track, so Power out there now then. Also on the track we have Kimi Räikkönen for Suomi. Romain Grosjean's out there as well, with the green livery this time, not the black livery. They are allowed alcohol sponsors here, so they're able to get away with that one. Antonio Giovinazzi out on track with Martini. They've got their Martini sticker on the car this time by. Pascal Wehrlein's got the Guinness on the car now then, so Gasly... Pierre Gasly out on track. Who did I say? Pascal Wehrlein by accident. I do apologise. Patrick Kajala out on track now then for Suomi. So Kajala's out there as well. Sebastian Vettel out there. Still with the Dazzle Cam. EMR not launching their livery until the 28th of November. So look out for that. That's next Wednesday. Pascal Wehrlein out on the track he goes. As we also look at Daniel Ricciardo, who's also out there for Etihad BMW. Ed Jones out there as well for Mars Grand Prix. Giuliano Alesi for Martini's out there as well, as is Carlos Sainz Jr. and Scott Dixon as well, as his teammate Rubens Barrichello has just started a lap now then, making his way around turn 4 now then, up towards the medium speed turn 5 he will go. Barrichello flicking it through the right hand over to Sparks, continue to fly out the back of his British Airways racing car. 25.490 in the first sector there for the Brazilian veteran, as he makes his way down the hill towards the right hander. This is a completely different track to what Paul Ricard is. It's not got a very long straight, it's more of a downforce track rather than a high speed track, so we'll have to wait and see how the drivers cope in terms of downforce, of course, of corners. More corners on this track. Up towards the double right hander we go. 49.167 there for Rubens Barrichello, as he comes out of that double right hander, as he now approaches the bus stop chicane on the track. Through the right, then the left, and then into the right hander he goes before going around the second to last corner, and then up towards the final corner, which is Lorenzo Corner now there. So into Lorenzo Corner goes Rubens Barrichello, making his way down the pit straight, and Barrichello now then is going to cross the line. What's the time going to be? It's a 1 minute 19.863. So Let's see if anybody else can try and beat that. Will Power then in the Ferrari Power GRM. Power now then, across the line he will go. What's the time going to be for him? It's a second place, 1/10 off Barrichello that time by. Kimi Räikkönen now then making his way out of the final turn. Let's see what the Suomi can do. It was quite decent at Paul Ricard, but it looks like it's improved a little bit. Räikkönen goes fastest by 7/10 of a second. Romain Grosjean 8/10 off him in third. Antonio Giovinazzi slots to fifth with that lap there then, as Pierre Gasly slots to second place with that lap. Kajala slots to third. Sebastian Vettel goes second fastest, 400ths off Kimi Räikkönen. Fourth place there then for Pascal Wehrlein. Third for Daniel Ricciardo, as Ed Jones slots to 8th place with that lap. Alesi slots to 12th. What about Carlos Sainz Jr.? Third fastest for him. A good time for Carlos Sainz Jr. As is Dixon now then making his way out of the final turn, and the British Airways racing car will come across the line. What can he do? And he slots to 10th position, not on the pace of teammate Barrichello at the moment, as Barrichello is actually doing another lap. Unlike at Paul Ricard, we do see these guys tend to do a second flying lap, but it's just mainly a mileage run or somebody trying to improve if they've been held up in traffic in any way, shape or form, like we've seen in previous years around this track. Barrichello heads out of the final turn, and Barrichello crosses the line. No improvement for him, remains in 8th position. Will Power in the GRM, Power down in 12th at this stage. As Will Power now then will cross the line, and he remains 12th with that lap. Kimi Räikkönen currently at the top with a 1 minute 19.141. Can he improve on that lap? Kimi will cross the line, and no he can't. 3/10 off the pace. Here comes Romain Grosjean. Crosses the line he goes, no improvement for the Frenchman, as Giovinazzi remains where he is at the moment. Pierre Gasly crosses the line, remains where he stands. Patrick Ajala also remains where he is. Sebastian Vettel staying in second place. Pascal Wehrlein remains 6th, as Daniel Ricciardo does not improve with that lap. And just a note, of course, 5 of the 11 teams have brought an upgrade for this test, so only 5 teams bringing it at that weekend, as Alesi's now just going around those corners, Alan. They didn't improve on their laps. The guys that just crossed the line, as we were talking about that. Dixon crosses the line, no improvement, remains in 10th position. As everybody should be heading back into the pits this lap, which they are. So we'll go to Dixon that time by. So at the moment then, it is currently Räikkönen top, Vettel second, Sainz third, Ricciardo fourth, followed by Gasly fifth, Wehrlein sixth, Kajala seventh, Barrichello in 8th, followed by Jones 9th, Dixon in 10th, then it is Grosjean 11th, Power 12th, Giovinazzi 13th, and Alesi in 14th position. We've still got 8 more cars yet to do a lap, so we'll have to wait and see what they do once they come out onto the track. As Dixon makes his way down the hill towards the hairpin right-hander now, then using the curb on the outside, and then up towards the double left-hander he will go, as he will now head back into the pits this lap now then. As you can hear the scream out of that Mercedes V12 that's coming out the back of Dixon's car there then. Through the double right-hander he goes, and just making his way out of the turn before approaching the bus stop chicane. Through the right, then the left, and then into the double right-hander he goes. Uses the curb on the outside through the right-hander. As Dixon heads into the pits, he'll flick to the left, and into the pits then goes Scott Dixon. As he goes trundling down pit lane now then, and just making his way down through pit lane, and just going into the box there then, and just waiting for another car to go out. There looks to be a car out there. It is Esteban Ocon. Now Ocon did a pretty good job, it must be said, in Paul Ricard, clearly having some good pace in the GRM. Let's see if Ocon can keep that up during the course of this session here in the ref. Obviously been announced today in real life as the reserve driver for Mercedes. Not exactly what he wanted. He wanted to be racing, of course, but it does kind of give an indication that he probably will be driving for Mercedes in 2020 in place of Bottas, with Toto pretty much giving a hint during the team press conference today before Christian Horner tried to roast him with Ocon, saying that they're giving him some work in the hope of giving him so that he can prepare to give him a seat for 2020. Well, in preparation for a seat in 2020, I should say, not to give him a seat, but it kind of gives an indication that he's probably going to be a Mercedes driver in 2020. And which is good for him. I think it kind of means that I think everybody kind of agreed that Ocon was probably not going to be out of the sport for that long anyway. So he's probably going to come back one day anyway. I think everybody kind of got the gist of it because he's not really a Wehrlein, is he? Also on the track with, we have Nico Hulkenberg in the East Midlands racing car. Charles Leclerc out there as well. He's been very impressive in that Eldorado, it must be said, Leclerc. Also out there we have Lewis Hamilton for Etihad. Hamilton out there on the track. Also out there is Stoffel Vandoorne, Sergio Perez out on track as well. We also have Hiroki Ashura out there, along with Romain Grosjean, Antonio Giovinazzi, Will Power, Rubens Barrichello, Patrick Kajala, and Valtteri Bottas, along with Pascal Wehrlein as well. Ocon there, 1/10 down in the first sector compared to Kimi Raikkonen. So when we clearly having some good downforce on that car because it didn't do quite a particularly good job at Paul Ricard. I wonder if they're one of the 5 teams that have brought an upgrade here to Jerez to try and turn that pace around if they can. Ocon now then just going around the left-hander. Let's see what these second sectors like. 2/10 down that time by. So let's see what this time could be then. It just depends how Ocon hooks up this last sector, of course, to see where he's going to end up. Through the right, then the left, and then into the double right hand as he goes now then. And soon Ocon will approach the Lorenzo Corner, which is the final corner on the track. Let's see what the Frenchman can do as Ocon makes his way down the straight, and we've got a yellow flag, and it's down at turn 5. So we're gonna have to. So Ocon's time's gonna have to hold on for a bit because we've got a yellow flag down at turn 5. Who is the culprit? And it's Antonio. In fact, it's 2 cars. In fact, it's Grosjean and Giovinazzi, the 2 former teammates, have gone for a spin down at turn 5. So pretty much synchronized spinning for the pair of them. Let's see what happened to Grosjean as he went round the right hander and he just got a touch of understeer and went off the track. And as for Giovinazzi, well, he just looked like he just caught a gasped oversteer there and maybe just caught the wind a little bit. I don't know if it's windy out there here in Jerez, but something made his car snap completely around that corner. You can see there that the back end just snapped out of him, and well, he got a little bit of a touch of the wall, but Giovinazzi, lucky he did not sustain any more damage from that. Lucky to not sustain some damage at all. Ocon across the line to go third fastest, a P3 for Esteban Ocon as Wehrlein is about to start a lap. Here is Nico Hulkenberg now then, just going around Lorenzo Corner. And Hulkenberg now then, what can he do? Across the line goes Nico, and he goes fastest by a tenth. So Hulkenberg to the top of the timing sheets. A good time there from Nico. It's P1 then for Nico Hulkenberg. Let's have a look at Charles Leclerc then. Let's see what he can do. He was very impressive at Paul Ricard last weekend. Let's see if he can try and keep that up here at Jerez now then. So Leclerc heading down the pit straight and across the line goes the Monegasque. What can Leclerc do? And he goes fastest by 0.2 of a second. So Leclerc to the top of the timing sheets. Hamilton doesn't quite do that. He goes to second. 1/10 off Leclerc. Vandoorne slots the 14th. It's 15th for Sergio Perez. Ashura goes 20th. There's still a yellow flag down at turn 5, but it's now been cleared. I wonder if Giovinazzi or Grosjean might have beached their car or just took a while to get out of the gravel trap. As Power does not improve, he remains down in 18th, so he's way off the pace of teammate Ocon at the moment. Here is Rubens Barrichello. Let's see what the Brazilian veteran can manage. No improvement for him, remains in 12th. Kajala improves but remains in 11th. Romain Grosjean obviously crossing the line, but obviously with dirt on his tyres after the understeer moment he had, and obviously does not improve and remains down in 17th. His teammate doing a lot better than him in this session. Bottas goes 6th with that lap. We're only a little bit better. He's only 16th at the moment. Ocon does not improve and remains where he is at this stage. Pascal Wehrlein currently in 11th, so showing some good signs for AMP at the moment, but Wehrlein crosses the line and remains in P11. No improvement for him. Nico Hulkenberg is going to cross the line and he does not improve, remains in 3rd position as Antonio Giovinazzi crosses the line after his wild moment to remain in 20th at the moment. Still yet to get a competitive time under his belt at the moment. Leclerc now then, around the hairpin he goes. Let's see what Charles Leclerc can do as he will now cross the line, and the Monegasque does not improve and remains on a 1 minute 18.721 at this stage. Hamilton does not improve and able to get Leclerc that time by and remains in 2nd place. Stoffel Vandoorne remains 15th for the moment. Ashura now then across the line will go the Japanese driver to remain in 21st position. Will Power making his way down the pit straight. Power currently in 19th position and remains 19th with that lap. Here's Rubens Barrichello with Kajala behind him heading down the pit straight. And Barrichello now then across the line he goes, and he does not improve. Kajala didn't improve either, not really a surprise. Gasly expected to come out in a little bit. We can see his car in the pit lane as Grosjean does not manage to find some time to improve. Ocon goes back in the pits. Bottas does not improve, remains 6th for the present moment. Around the hairpin goes Pascal Wehrlein in the AMP. Heading down the pit straight he goes. Let's see what Wehrlein can manage with this lap. And Wehrlein does not improve, remains in P11 at this stage. A few cars go back into the pits. Is that everybody done at this part? I think it is. Yes, it is. As Wehrlein will be heading back into the pits this lap as he just makes his way around that hairpin. Around the left hand if he goes, uses the curb on the outside now then as he makes his way out of the turn before approaching the quick right-hander. As Wehrlein now, they're just making his way out of the turn before heading down the straight, as we have just over 47 minutes to go in this session. And so now just coming off the turn now then he will go as Gasly just waiting for the right time possibly to go out onto the track along with everybody else that's come out, including Alesi and Raikkonen. So those guys out there as well. There's Wehrlein, still going to keep an eye on them because nobody's come out onto the track yet, as the German is currently in 11th, so doing a lot better than what he did in Paul Ricard, where he struggled massively, and obviously in the last day got heavily outpaced by teammate Stoffel Van Dorn. Van Dorn's currently 15th at the moment, so they're pretty close together today, both Wehrlein and Van Dorn, as Pierre Gasly now then comes out on the track, currently in 10th, ironically the same as his car number actually, number 10. Gasly now then out on the track now then, as he makes his way around the left-hander, using the curb on the outside as he'll now approach the quick right-hander. As Gasly makes his way down the long straight, down the hill he goes before approaching the hairpin. As Giuliano Alesi, I think I saw in the background. Yes, Alesi has also come out onto the track. As Gasly makes his way out of the hairpin, using the curb on the outside there. Then as he'll make his way around the left-hander, as preparing to start his lap as mentioned. Giuliano Alesi out on track, currently last at the moment, which is not great because he did a better job at Paul Ricard last weekend, but clearly still trying to get to grips with the car around here in RF. Daniel Ricciardo out on track as well for Etihad, the man who's replacing Fernando Alonso. Sebastian Vettel out there as well for EMR, so Vettel gone out at the moment, as has Kimi Räikkönen. Esteban Ocon's out there as well, along with defending champion Lewis Hamilton. Also out there is Stoffel Van Dorn, Carlos Sainz Jr. out there as well. Nico Hulkenberg has also come out onto the track. As Ed Jones just comes out on the track. We're expecting Perez also as well, along with Hiroki Ishiro and Charles Leclerc. Let's get back to Pierre Gasly, wherever he is. Here he is, Gasly just starting his lap now as he comes out of turn 1. Into turn 2 he goes, just flicking the car in now then. Through turn 3 now then, as he uses quite a bit of curb on the outside. As now he makes his way out of the turn using the curb. Out of turn 4 now then through the medium speed turn 5. Let's see what his first split is like. 2 tenths down off Leclerc in the first sector there then. Gasly currently 9 tenths off Leclerc at the moment. Probably just trying to settle in at the moment, and probably maybe could be on for an improvement. Depends how he hooks up these last 2 sectors really. As Gasly now then makes his way out of the left hander now then through the long swooping through this left-hander, which is a braking zone actually, a tap on the brakes, up towards a double right-hander, 6 tenths down in the middle sector. Gasly probably not on for an improvement, but we'll wait and see what the Frenchman can do anyway. As he now makes his way around the bus stop chicane, round the right-hander he goes, using the curb on the outside, round the right-hander, as Gasly now then approaches the final corner. Let's see what Pierre can do. As he will now come down the pit straight, and Gasly now then is going to cross the line. Can the Frenchman improve? And yes, he can. He goes up to 9th, so he's only just about able to improve. He goes up to 9th. As Alesi improves to go up to 13th, so a bigger improvement there then for the son of one-time race winner Jean Alesi. So now we look at Daniel Ricciardo. Surely the Aussie's got to improve. 9 tenths off the pace. He's in an Etihad. Surely Ricciardo's probably got some time to improve. Let's see. The Aussie now then is going to cross the line, and Ricciardo, can he improve? He does. He goes up to 6th. So up to 6th place goes Daniel Ricciardo, 5 tenths off Leclerc at this stage. Speaking of Leclerc, he's about to start a lap here. Sebastian Vettel in the EMR. Let's see what Vettel can do. Across the line goes the German. Can he improve? No, he can't. Remains 5th for the moment Still behind real-life Ferrari teammate Kimi Raikkonen, or won't be after this weekend. In fact, when they're at Abu Dhabi. Raikkonen, speaking of which, does not improve, remains in 4th. Ocon remains in 8th. Hamilton remains 2nd, still not able to knock Leclerc off the top at the moment. He's just within a 10th of Leclerc at the moment. Van Dorn now, they're heading down the pit straight. Let's see what Stoffel can do. No improvement for him. Van Dorn remaining in 16th place. Sainz improves, but remains in 8th place for the moment, as we now look at Hulkenberg. In fact, he goes up to 8th. I do apologise. He goes up to 8th place with that lap. Hulkenberg didn't improve, remains in 3rd for the moment. Ed Jones in the Mars Grand Prix car. Let's see what the Emirates driver can do. Jones is going to cross the line, and he goes up to 10th. A really good time there from Ed Jones. Up into P10 goes the Emirates driver, gets in front of Gasly, who, speaking of which, does not improve, remains in 11th place. Alesi stays 14th for the moment. Perez goes up to 10th, an improvement for the Mexican. So Checo gets up into P10. Ashura goes up to 13th. So a lot of lap time starting to improve at the moment. Ashura goes up to 13th in the Mars Grand Prix car. It looks like Mars Grand Prix turned a corner in pace from last season, it must be said, after they switched to Ferrari. Ricciardo does not improve, remains in 6th place for the moment. So that's that for him, really. As now we look at Charles Leclerc. Across the line he goes. Can he improve? No, he can't. Only by 9,000ths of a second, though. Leclerc remaining on a 1 minute 18.721. Vettel doesn't improve, remains where he is. Kimi Raikkonen remains 4th for the moment. Esteban Ocon stays where he is at the moment. In 9th, we've got a yellow flag, and that is down at turn 3. And who is that? I can see a car on the left, but I can't quite tell who it is. Who's the culprit? It's Ashura. Hiroki Ashura in the Mars Grand Prix car has got a problem. It's a transmission problem for the Mars. So the first mechanical problem of the day coming from the Japanese driver. Mars Grand Prix suffering from some issues. The Ferrari power suffering from gearbox problems. And, well, he'll have to climb into the spare car if he wants to continue for the remainder of the day. But that's the second time the yellows have come out today, it must be said. Ocon and Hamilton have not been able to improve here. Stoffel Van Dorn across the line goes the Belgian. No improvement for him, remains where he is at this stage. Sainz remains in 8th. Hulkenberg across the line remains in 3rd for the moment, as Bottas is preparing to go out on the track in a little bit. Ed Jones currently in 11th place. Let's see if he can find some time to improve. As Jones comes out in the final turn and onto the pit straight, he will go. Ed Jones crosses the line and he remains where he is at the moment. Jones remains in 11th place at this stage, doing a good job, it must be said. I wonder how the real life how the current drivers will get on probably in the next few days, with Jones in 11th and Ashura in 13th. Very convincing signs for team boss Andy Graham as far as he's concerned, in trying to get some progress within the team. Perez does not improve, remains in 10th place. As we now look at Charles Leclerc, see if he can improve on this lap. Round the final turn and onto the pit straight goes the Monegasque, and Charles is going to cross the line. Can he improve? And no, he can't. Remains in with a 1 minute 18.721 on the board that time by. So meantime, Leclerc's teammate Valtteri Bottas has now come out onto the track. So Bottas now then making his way down the hill before approaching turn 6 on the racetrack. As sparks go off the back of Valtteri's car now then, round the right-hander he goes, using the curb on the outside. Is Bottas now then making his way around the long swooping left-hander in towards the next left-hander he goes, as he'll soon approach the double right-hander. So now using the curve on the outside through the right-hander, and so now into the right-left chicane he goes, the bus stop chicane on the track. Bottas preparing himself for that. 5 tenths off his teammate Leclerc at the moment in 7th, as his teammate is going to go back into the pits. Grosjean out on track, desperate to improve, currently down in 20th place at the moment, as Giovinazzi also desperate to improve as well. Not really been able to set a competitive time after his second flying lap. He went off for a spin. Same with Grosjean, actually, it must be said, to both of them desperate to improve. Barrichello's come out, as is Dixon, as Bottas starts the lap. I should say, but clearly his former colleague from Eldorado, Scott Dixon, might impede him, and that will not be good news from Bottas, but so far he's not doing that, but you never know, of course. Just under 40 minutes to go in this session. Will Power now then out on track. We're expecting Giuliano Alesi, Pascal Wehrlein, Pierre Gasly, Kimi Raikkonen, Patrick Ajala, Sebastian Vettel and Daniel Ricciardo to also come out on the track in a little bit. Let's get back to Bottas. 6 tenths down in the middle sector, not on for an improvement, so clearly Dixon maybe holding up the fin at the moment. as Bottas now then makes his way out the turn, unless he made a mistake on his lap, I'm not sure. But Bottas now then coming around these section of corners, through the left-hander he goes, and now up towards the double right-hander, 8 times down. So yeah, Bottas not on for improvement. Clearly either Dixon is held him up too much, or whether he just made a mistake, I'm not 100% sure at the moment. Bottas now then round the bus stop chicane now then. He will go. Through the right he goes, using the curb on the outside, through the right, and then up towards the final corner then goes Valtteri Bottas. Let's see if he can improve on his lap now then, through the hairpin, as he makes his way down the pit straight, and Bottas now then is going to cross the line. Can Bottas improve on his lap? And no, he can't. Bottas remaining in 7th place at this stage. His power is about to start a lap, as will Wehrlein and Vettel and Kajala and Raikkonen and Gasly and Sainz. We'll look at Grosjean. He's 5 tenths down in the middle sector, so we'll have to wait and see what his next sector will be like, as he now goes around the hairpin using the curb on the outside. Grosjean now then who the left-hander, Bud Light Lime, of course, the only Audi-powered team left on the grid. A lot of people thought Martini would actually adopt the Audi engine, but clearly not. They've actually went with Renault for this season. So far, it's paying off for him, it must be said. The last few tests have gone really well for them. Grosjean 9 tenths down that time by, so he's clearly struggling at the moment. I'm not sure about Giovinazzi at the moment. We're not really keeping an eye on Grosjean's former teammate at the moment. We will be once he crosses the line, as Grosjean now then makes his way towards the final corner. So around the final corner and onto the pit straight then goes Romain Grosjean, as he's now going to cross the line. Let's see what the Frenchman can do, and he doesn't improve. Remains in 20th, as looks like Giovinazzi got a lot of traffic to contend with, and again getting really held up on 1.4 off the pace. So really getting held up by the likes of his teammate Alesi, and maybe even Ricciardo as well, is now probably going to get held up by Giovinazzi as well. Barrichello starts his lap now then, as he makes his way towards turn 1. Dixon has not improved, nor has Bottas. Looks like Bottas got a little bit held up as well. Will Power improves to go up to 19th, or yeah, up to 19th he goes. He was down in 20th, I think, or I could be wrong. In fact, no, he was somewhere down the field. He was 21st actually, so he's got up to 19th, but still not exactly great for the new GRM recruit, who is on loan from El Dorado. Here is Pascal Wehrlein now then, making his way into the final corner and onto the pit straight then. He will go. Wehrlein, can he improve on his lap? And no, he can't. Sebastian Vettel remains 5th, no improvement for him. Patrick Ajala goes up to 13th, so an improvement there then for the young Finn. Here is the Finnish veteran though, Kimi Raikkonen. He improves but remains in 4th position. He's still within 3 tenths off Leclerc at this stage. Here is Pierre Gasly coming out of the final turn. And Gasly is going to cross the line, and he goes up to 12th, so an improvement there then for Gasly, or I should say stays in 12th, but just improves on his time. Sainz remains in 8th place, still outpacing teammate Gasly at the moment. Grosjean across the line, and Grosjean does not improve. Grosjean remains in 21st. Alesi goes up to 13th, so he's found some time to improve. Alesi getting up the field. Giovinazzi getting way held up again and remains where he is. Same with Ricciardo. They're both really holding each other up. Clearly, both of them preventing each other from improving at the moment. Barrichello does not improve, remains where he is at the moment. Giovinazzi clearly having some traffic trouble at the moment, as Dixon makes his way around turn 1 at this stage. Giovinazzi not getting very lucky with the traffic, it must be said. Here is Wehrlein, 9 tenths off in the second sector, as we have just over 35 minutes left in this session here at RF. Day 1 here at RF, of course. As now just coming out of the turn, now then up towards the final corner. We are now at the 6:30 mark, for anybody wondering. Time's actually gone really fast, it must be said, in this pre-season test. As Wehrlein makes his way down the pit straight, and he does not improve, nor does fellow compatriot Sebastian Vettel. He remains where he is at the moment. Kajala remains 14th. What about Kimi Raikkonen, his teammate for today? Raikkonen crosses the line, and he remains 4th for the moment. Gasly now then just comes out of the final turn, and let's see what Pierre Gasly can manage in the shadow, as he will now cross the line and does not improve, remains in 12th position with that lap. Giuliano Alesi rounds the final turn in the Martini, and let's see what Alesi can do then in the Renault powered Martini. Alesi crosses the line and does not improve, remains in 13th position. Ricciardo across the line, no improvement for him, remains in 6th place at this stage. I think he's still in 6th, I could be wrong on that. As his teammate Lewis Hamilton now then is about to come out on the track, desperate to try and knock Leclerc off the top if he can. Hamilton now then out on the track he goes. He makes his way out of turn 1 and then into turn 2, and then turn 3 he will go. So we're just over 34 minutes to go then in this session. Here's what the leaderboard currently looks like. Leclerc fastest, Hamilton 2nd, Hulkenberg 3rd, Raikkonen 4th, Vettel 5th, Ricciardo 6th, Bottas 7th, Sainz in 8th, Ocon 9th, Perez 10th, followed by Jones 11th, Gasly 12th, Alesi 13th, Kajala 14th, Ashura 15th, followed by Verline 16th, Barrichello 17th, Van Dorn 18th, Power 19th, Dixon 20th, with Grosjean 21st and Giovinazzi in 22nd position. I still expect Giovinazzi to improve, maybe Grosjean as well, but we will wait and see, because they've both been quite unlucky, must be said, especially Giovinazzi with traffic, the spin, and then more traffic as well to contend with. So he's just been a very unlucky man, it must be said. As Hamilton now then makes his way into the bus stop chicane, as Hamilton prepares for his next flying lap, as he now just comes off the turn now then up towards Lorenzo Corner. Now then goes Lewis Hamilton as he prepares himself to start his first flying lap. Out of the final corner and onto the pit straight. Hamilton now then is about to start his next flying lap now then. Heading down the pit straight, heading down towards turn 1 as somebody looks like he's about to hold him up. That's Scott Dixon, who held up, who did he hold up? He held up Bottas a little bit earlier on, so I wonder if Hamilton's going to get the same sort of treatment being stuck behind Scott Dixon as he uses the curb on the outside there then as he just comes off the turn. Hamilton now then up towards turn 5 so sparks come off the back of his car now then, and he's 6 attempts down, so Dixon really holding up Hamilton on this lap, and he's really getting close to the back of Dixon as well. So yeah, Hamilton really getting held up at the moment by Scott Dixon at this stage as he makes his way out of the hairpin in towards the left-hander he goes, and then up towards the next left-hander will go Lewis Hamilton, and now up towards the double right-hander he goes. 8 attempts down. Dixon really holding up the defending champion at this stage. Out of the corner he goes out in using the curb on the outside as we now approach the bus stop chicane. Through the right, then the left, and then into the right-hander we go now then. Using the curb on the outside through the right-hander as Hamilton now then approaches the final corner, and looks like he's going to try and pass Dixon if he can, but Dixon really holding him up, and I wonder if Hamilton might hold up Dixon a bit when he starts his next flying lap. But anyway, coming down the pit straight, and Hamilton is going to cross the line and does not improve by a second. Dixon really holding him up on that lap there. Then Jones coming around the final turn as he's about to start his next final lap on with Bottas, Ashura, current top man Leclerc, Grosjean and Perez and Power. Now we look at Van Dorn, who's 7 attempts down in the middle sector. I don't know if that's going to be enough for an improvement for the Belgian, but we will wait and see as he makes his way around the final the bus stop chicane. And so now up towards the final corner, and Van Dorn now they're making his way down the pit straight, and Van Dorn is going to cross the line. Can he improve? And no, he can't. Van Dorn remains in 18th place as we now look at Nico Hulkenberg out of the final turn, and let's see what Hulkenberg can manage. Across the line goes the German. Can he improve? And he can. He goes up. He doesn't go up actually. He remains in 3rd, but improves on his best time. Now within 2/10 of Leclerc. I thought he actually went up there. My eyes were clearly playing up with me on that time by. Ocon does not improve. Remains in 9th position. Here's Lewis Hamilton breaking free now from Scott Dixon, but I bet he's still been held up as a result. As Hamilton now then makes his way out of the final turn. Hamilton across the line he will go, and no improvement remains where he is at this stage. Dixon also remains. Looked like he got really held up there by Lewis Hamilton as Giovinazzi is about to start a lap. Desperate to improve, I must be said. As Ed Jones now then across the line he goes. Can he improve? No, he can't. Remains where he is at the moment. Valtteri Bottas Can he improve? And yes, he can. He goes up to 5th, so up to P5 then goes Valtteri Bottas. A big improvement there then for the Finn. Ashura improves but remains in 15th. Leclerc doesn't improve, remains on a 1 minute 18.721. Grosjean remains 21st. He's really struggling in that car. Perez remaining in 10th position. He's way quicker than Grosjean at the moment. Grosjean clearly struggling with that car. Power improves but remains in 19th position. Stoffel Vandoorne makes his way down the pit straight. Vandoorne across the line and he remains in 18th position. As Hulkenberg is coming back into the pits. His lap here is Esteban Ocon, currently 9th at the moment, as he makes his way around the right-hander using the curb on the outside and up towards the hairpin. Will go the Frenchman. And Ocon now then makes his way down the pit straight, and Ocon now then is going to cross the line. And can he improve? No, he can't. Remains where he is at the moment. We had some frame drops there. That's quite odd from where I am because I'm not at home at the moment, so I do apologise for that. Kajala improves to go up to 12th, so that's that then for Patrick Kajala. As we now look at Scott Dixon, broken free now from Lewis Hamilton. Dixon now then across the line he goes. No improvement, remains in 20th position. Here is Antonio Giovinazzi. Can he improve on his lap across the line? And yes, he can. He goes up to 8th. So up to P8 now then goes Antonio Giovinazzi. 6 tenths off Leclerc at this stage. Jones does not improve. Remains in 12th. As Bottas remains in 5th place with that lap. Hiroki Ashura across the line remains 16th. As Leclerc remains on the 1 minute 18.721. Again that time by. Grosjean still struggling and remains in last position. Grosjean really struggling in this session. Perez remains 11 places in front of his own teammate. Will Power across the line remains in 20th position, so that's where he stands at the moment. Patrick Kajala now then coming out of the double right-hander he goes as he uses the curb on the outside up towards the right, left, right chicane. He will go for the right, then the left, then into the right. Kajala losing the curb on the outside. And let's see what the Finn can do then on this lap as he makes his way around the final turn. And the Finn now then heads down the pit straight. Kajala now then across the line he will go. And Kajala does not improve, remains in 13th position. So that's where he stands at this stage, as Dixon there clearly outbraking himself in the pits and scraping the wall. He was lucky not to sustain some damage that time by, according to his delta on the bottom right of your screen. Giovinazzi across the line goes the Italian, and he remains 8th with that lap as Gasly comes out on the track, as he will be starting his lap in a little bit. As anybody else on a lap? Yes, Pascal Wehrlein's about to start a lap actually in a bit. Barrichello will be as well, so Wehrlein and Barrichello got out before Gasly did. Wehrlein heading out of the final turn. Let's see what the German can do as he's about to start his next flying lap, riding on board with the German as Wehrlein makes his way up the hill towards turn 1. Into turn 1 there then goes Pascal. He's in the curb on the outside, and then into turn 2 he will now go, flicking the car in as he now goes around the left-hander. So now through the left-hander he goes in, now come up towards turn number 5 on the racetrack. Wehrlein going through the section of corners. He's 3 times down in the first sector. Wehrlein currently a second off Leclerc at the moment, down in 17th. So Wehrlein desperate to improve if he can. So Wehrlein makes his way out of the turn. And then into the left-hander he goes. And using the curb on the outside now then as he flicks the car in. Let's see what his second split is like. And he's 7 tenths down, so I don't know whether Wehrlein will be on for an improvement. We'll have to wait and see on that. Through the right-hander he goes, uses the curb on the outside, and then up towards the right, left, right chicane he'll go, flicking the car in. Through the turns, through the right he goes, into the second to last corner. And then up towards the final corner then goes Pascal Wehrlein. As Wehrlein now then makes his way down the pit straight, and Pascal will cross the line. Can he improve? And yes he can, but he remains where he is at the moment, still 17th at the moment in the session as the likes of Sainz and Hulkenberg come out onto the track. Here's Rubens Barrichello on the lap now then, making his way now then up towards the final corner of Lorenzo now then. Through the final turn and onto the pit straight now then we go, as Barrichello now then will come across the line. Can he improve? and no, he can't. Barrichello remains in 18th position. Alesi will be starting a lap a little bit along with Van Dorn. Gasly now then 5 tenths down in the middle sector. Gasly currently 8 tenths off the pace at the moment. Could be on for an improvement, just depends how he hooks up the last sector. Shadow have been looking quite decent, it must be said, in these tests at the moment. Look like they could be a solid midfield runner this season, and are desperate to improve on that 10th position they got last season. Obviously the Classic is the best season yet because of the amount of points they scored, and now they're after more, and hopefully they're hoping the new era can change that. Gasly now then rounding the final turn, and across the line he will go. Can he improve on that lap? And no, he can't. Gasly remains in 14th. Vettel just starting a lap as Leclerc is about to come out on the track. Ocon just starting a lap himself. Here's Kimi Räikkönen now then. Around the final turn and onto the pit straight goes the Iceman, and Kimi Räikkönen is about to come across the line. Can he improve? And no, he can't. Räikkönen remains where he is at the moment as Pascal Wehrlein crosses the line to remain in 17th position. Carlos Sainz Jr. starts his lap, as does Nico Hulkenberg, as will Lewis Hamilton and Daniel Ricciardo. So both FTRs about to start their laps. Barrichello now then up towards the final corner he goes. Let's see what Rubino can do as he makes his way down the pit straight. Barrichello across the line he will go, and he remains in 18th position. No improvement for Rubino. Here is Sergio Perez now then around the chicane, preparing to start his next flying lap. Here's Alesi now then, 6 tenths down in the middle sector. Could be on for an improvement. We'll have to wait and see how he hooks up this last sector. Currently 15th at the moment is Giuliano. Let's see if Alesi can improve now then. Up towards the final turn he goes, and heading down the pit straight we go now. Then Alesi is going to cross the line. Can he improve? And no, he can't. Remains where he is at this stage. Van Dorn doesn't improve either, as Gasly doesn't improve, remains where he is. Sebastian Vettel remains in 6th place. Leclerc just starting a lap. Ocon remains in the cusp of the top 10 at this stage. Ocon not really repeating the performance he showed at Paul Ricard. As now we look at Kimi Räikkönen heading down the pit straight, and Räikkönen is going to cross the line. Räikkönen does not improve, remains where he is at the moment, and so Räikkönen staying in 4th. Carlos Sainz Jr. across the line and remains where he is at the moment. So now we look at Hulkenberg and Hamilton. Neither of those guys improved that time by. Daniel Ricciardo heading out the final turn. Let's see what Danny Rick can do. Across the line goes the Australian, and he improves to go up to 6th. So up into 6th place goes Daniel Ricciardo, gets in for the Sebastian Vettel. That time by. We'll look at Perez, who's 6 tenths down in the middle sector. Perez probably not on for an improvement, but we'll wait and see anyway as he rounds the chicane. And so going around the chicane now, there we go. And Perez now then up towards the final corner, and let's see what Sergio Perez can do as he makes his way down the pit straight. And Perez now then is going to cross the line, and no improvement remains where he is at this stage. Giuliano Alesi across the line he goes, and he remains in 15th place. So here is Sebastian Vettel. Vettel across the line he goes, and no improvement for him, remains where he is at the moment. Ocon across the line he goes, and no improvement for Esteban. He remains where he is at this stage. Here comes Carlos Sainz Jr. making his way up towards the final turn. And let's see what Carlos can do then on this lap as he makes his way down the pit straight. And Sainz across the line he goes, and Sainz remains in 9th place. As Hulkenberg remains 3rd, no improvement for him. As Lewis Hamilton remains in 2nd place at this stage, no improvement for Lewis. Here is Daniel Ricciardo, across the line he goes, and Ricciardo remains in 6th place for the moment. Bottas, Ashura, Dixon and Power all going out on the track. Here comes Perez now then, making his way out of the turn up towards the right, left, right chicane he will go. As now just going around these section of corners, as Perez now then makes his way up towards the hairpin. And into the hairpin now then goes Sergio, making his way down the pit straight, and Perez now then will come across the line, and no improvement. Perez remaining where he is at the moment in where is he? Remaining in 11th place. So now here is Charles Leclerc heading out of the final turn. Leclerc now then will come across the line, and Leclerc remains where he is at the moment with a 1 minute 18.721. So that's where he remains at the moment. So now we just come around the section of corners. Jones now then coming up towards turn 1 as he uses the curb on the outside there then, and into turn 2 we will go then into turn 3 as Jones now then on the lap. Just over 20 minutes to go now then in this session. Let's see what his first sector is like. The Emirates driver just coming around the long swooping right hander, and he's 3 times down in the first sector there then, heading down the hill and then into turn 6 we will now go. As Jones now then using the curb on the outside now then into the left-hander we go. As uses the curb on the outside into the medium speed left-hander before approaching the double right-hander of Angel Nieto. The corner named after him, of course, and even the track's now named after Angel Nieto. Jones 6 tenths down in the middle sector there, and let's see what he can do at the bus stop chicane. Smooth as you like. Probably not on for an improvement, but we'll see anyway. He could perform a bit of a miracle in the last sector now then. Jones up towards the final corner we go, and Jones now then is going to cross the line, and let's see what he can do. And Jones does not improve, remains where he is at the moment in 12th position, I think that's said. So now we look at Valtteri Bottas. He's just coming around the out of the chicane. Bottas currently in 5th place. Let's see if he can find some more time to improve on at the moment. Into the hairpin. Bottas now then coming down the pit straight, and Valtteri Bottas is now going to cross the line. Can he improve? And no, he can't. Bottas remaining where he is at the moment as Giovinazzi is about to start a lap in a little bit. Dixon now then around the final turn and onto the pit straight now then comes Scott Dixon. Can he improve on his lap now then? And no, he can't. Dixon does not improve for the moment. Grosjean just coming out of that chicane. As we now look at Will Power, who makes his way around the bus stop chicane. As he uses the curb on the outside through the right hander using the curb. And now up towards the final corner will go Will Power. And now making his way down the pit straight. And Power now then is going to cross the line. Can he improve? And no, he can't. Power remaining where he is at the moment. As we now look at Ed Jones, he's about to come up towards the final turn. So through the left hander he goes. Jones now then is going to cross the line. Can he improve on his 12th position? No, he can't. Remains there at the moment. As now here's Antonio Giovinazzi, currently 8th at the moment in the Martini. Let's see what he can do now then. Round the bus stop chicane, using the curb on the outside through the right hander and then up towards the final corner we will now go. Giovinazzi now then into the hairpin as he now makes his way down the pit straight. Giovinazzi now then is going to cross the line. Can he improve on his lap? And no, he can't. Remains in 8th place for the moment. Ashura does not improve, remains where he is at the moment in 16th place. Scott Dixon across the line he will go. Can he improve? No, he can't. Remains where he is at the moment. Verline just starting a lap now. Then here is Romain Grosjean, desperate to improve if he can, with his teammate up in 11th. Grosjean now then around the final turn. Can he find some time to improve in that car? Grosjean across the line he will go. Can he improve? And yes, he can, but only up into 18th place. So Grosjean clearly struggling at the moment. As Power now then powering across the line, no pun intended, as he does not improve, remains in 21st position. Ricciardo and Vettel just about to start a lap in a bit. Here is Raikkonen now then. Out of the bus stop he goes. Around these final 2 turns then will come the Iceman. Let's see what Kimi Raikkonen can do. Around the hairpin he goes now then of Lorenzo. Heading down the pit straight, and Raikkonen now then is going to cross the line. Can he improve? No, he can't. Raikkonen remaining in 4th position. Raikkonen doing a good job today, it must be said. His teammate meantime improves to go up to 9th. So a good improvement there then from Patrick Kajala, their test driver. Kajala now then up into 9th place. Here is Rubens Barrichello making his way down the pit straight, and Barrichello now then across the line. He will now go, and Barrichello does not improve, remains in 19th place, still outpacing Dixon at the moment. Giovinazzi remains 8th at this stage. Wehrlein now then heads out of the final turn, and let's see what the German can do. Wehrlein, can he improve? No, he can't. Remains 17th for the moment in this session. Here is Pierre Gasly coming out of the bus stop chicane through the right-hander. Uses the curb on the outside and then up towards the hairpin now then we'll go. Probably I'll have to lower that number eventually. I don't know, actually. I'll have to look and see how that looks at the moment. It's going down the straight, and then Gasly does not improve, remains in 14th. It might be alright as his teammate just came out right in front of him there, Carlos Sainz Jr. Luckily the pair of them did not make any contact whatsoever. Here comes Daniel Ricciardo heading down the pit straight. Ricciardo across the line, and Ricciardo remains in 6th position. I think he's still in the moment. Vettel remains 7th. No improvement for him for the moment. Here comes Kimi Räikkönen making his way down the pit straight. Räikkönen's going to cross the line, and Räikkönen remains in 4th place at the minute. As Kajala now then, his teammate crossed the line to remain in 9th place at this stage. Here comes Rubens Barrichello out of the final turn. Let's see what Rubino can do as he will now come across the line. And Rubino does not improve, remains in, where is he at the moment? Remains in 19th place here in this test session. Here comes Pascal Wehrlein heading out of the final corner. Wehrlein is going to cross the line. No improvement. Wehrlein remains in 17th place as Sainz about to start a lap in a little bit. As here is Giuliano Alesi now then heading out of the turn, and now into the chicane he goes through the right, then the left, and then into the right hander he goes. And let's see what Alesi's final sector is going to be like. Currently 15th at the moment. We ride on board with the Frenchman. Into the hairpin he goes, and Alesi now then is going to cross the line. Can he improve on his lap? And let's have a look. No, he can't. Remains in 15th place. Hulkenberg is about to come out on the track. Ricciardo doesn't improve, remains 6th. Look like he got really held upon his lap that time by. Vettel remains 7th. He's got a load of cars in front of him now, but he's coming into the pits anyway, so you shouldn't have to worry about them for too long. Ocon's about to start a lap, as will Lewis Hamilton, providing Ocon doesn't hold him up in a bit. Sainz actually on another lap, so we'll have a look at Carlos Sainz Jr. making his way around the hairpin. Looked like he got a little bit of understeer there, and he has. So lap already wrecked there for Carlos Sainz Jr. As we have just under 14 minutes to go now then in this session. That's the Sainz now then. And yeah, it looks like I might have to move the number down a bit for Shadow, because it looks like it's covering the Guinness logo on the car. No matter. Errors can happen. Round the corner now then goes, no sense whatsoever, goes Carlos Sainz Jr. as he will now make his way into the final corner. And Sainz now then down the pit straight, and across the line goes Carlos Sainz Jr. and he does not improve, remains in 10th place for the moment in this session. Van Dorn about to start a lap as we now look at Giuliano Alesi, who's now on a lap himself, heading down the pit straight, and Alesi is going to cross the line. Alesi remains where he is at this stage. So here is Charles Leclerc heading into turn 1. So Leclerc now then using a tad bit of curb on the outside. Leclerc currently in at the top of the moment, the 18.721. Trying to find somebody else on the lap. That will be Ocon now. Then he's just come out of second sector. We didn't quite see what he did in that second sector. Also coming out of that second sector is Hamilton, is also on a lap, it must be said, coming out of these final 2 turns. And let's see what Esteban Ocon can manage. Through the left-hander we go, and then down the pit straight. Let's see what Esteban Ocon can do. Across the line he goes, and he remains in 11th place. Hamilton does not improve, remains in 2nd place for the moment. Still Leclerc at the top of the timing sheets. Here comes Carlos Sainz Jr. making his way out of the turn now, then up towards the hairpin. Just under 12 minutes now left in this session. As Sainz now then comes down the pit straight. Sainz will now come across the line. Can he improve on his lap? And no, he can't. Sainz remains in 10th place for the moment. As Giuliano Alesi there in the Martini just came into the pits. Here comes Stoffel Vandoorne. Across the line he will go. And Vandoorne remains in 20th position. As now we look at Charles Leclerc, no improvement for him. Hulkenberg in front of him didn't improve either. Perez just starting a lap. Jones about to as well, along with Hiroki Ashura. Here is Ocon on the lower lap, 6 tenths down in the middle sector. Also 6 tenths down is Lewis Hamilton. Looks like neither of them are on an improvement, so they're probably just getting miles underneath their belt in the cars they're in. Around the bus stop chicane now, then we go. As Ocon now uses the curb on the outside through the right-hander, and then up towards the final corner goes Esteban Ocon. Let's see if he can improve now then. Around the hairpin now, they're heading down the pit straight, and Ocon is going to come across the line. Can he improve? And no, he can't. Remains in P number 11. Hamilton remains in second. No improvement for him. Dixon behind him starts a lap. Bottas just about to start one in a bit. As his power. Here is Vandoorne, 1.1 seconds off in the middle sector. Vandoorne clearly not on for an improvement. Probably just picking up miles in the AMP. Through the bus stop he goes. Uses the curb on the outside through the right-hander. And then up towards the hairpin goes Stoffel. Into the hairpin. As he now makes his way down the pit straight. And across the line now then goes the Belgian. Can he improve on his lap? And yes, he can. No, in fact, no, he can't. What am I doing? No, he can't. He remains in 20th. Hulkenberg does not improve, remains third. Leclerc remaining on the 1 minute 18.721. Perez remaining in 12th position. Jones remains 13th. Here is Hiroki Ashura. And across the line he goes. He goes up to 15th. So an improvement there then for the Japanese driver. He lifts himself up into 15th place. Grosjean just about to start a lap in a little bit. Dixon 9 tenths off in the middle sector, probably not on for an improvement, but we'll wait and see anyway as he makes his way around the bus stop chicane, using the curb on the outside through the right-hander. Just under 10 minutes to go now then in this session. Dixon up towards the final corner, and onto the pit straight goes the Kiwi, and Dixon will come across the line, and no improvement remains where he is at the moment. Bottas, can he improve on his lap? Nope, remains in 5th. As we've got a yellow flag down at turn 5. So who's the culprit? Down at turn 5 now then. And let's try and see if we can get to them if we can. And it's Grosjean again. And he gets a tank slapper this time. And he smacks it into the wall. And clearly pushing a bit too hard. And that's the second time he's ended up in that gravel. So Grosjean off. And he got a snap of oversteer just like Giovinazzi did earlier in the sessions. That's the second time Grosjean has been off at that corner, and he smacked it into the wall, and well, Grosjean done for the day, and so he's now beached it into the wall. Giovinazzi, as he just started a lap, I think he might have just started a lap actually. Here is Will Power now then heading down the pit straight. Grosjean will have to probably get into the T car if he wants to continue. Power with a checkered flag next to his name. Doesn't improve and remains in 21st position. He's got one more lap before he heads back into the pit. So ref, X-Patch usually allows them to do 2 laps before they come back in if that is the case. So just remember that, of course. Perez now heading down the pit straight. Let's see if he can improve. No, he can't. Remains in 12th. As Jones remains 13th for the moment. Ashura remains 15th. No improvement there then for the Japanese driver. So Dixon now then on a lap, currently a second down in the middle sector. Dixon probably not on for an improvement, but we'll wait and see anyways. Dixon now then makes his way into the right chicane. He'll soon go through the left, then into the double right-hander using the curb on the outside, into the second to last turn, up towards the final corner, and let's see what Scott Dixon can manage. And in the number 41 British Airways racing car, Dixon across the line. Can he improve? No, he can't. Remains in 22nd position. Bottas does not improve and remains in 5th place. So Giovinazzi remains 8th. No improvement for him. As we now look at Will Power, possibly on his Final flying lap, judging from the checkered flag that's next to his name. Power now then, heading down the pit straight and across the line he will go. And he remains where he is at the moment in 21st. We are now at the 7 o'clock mark for anybody wondering. And there's still just under 7 3/4 minutes to go in this session. That was a weird one. That was a bit of a voice break. I do apologise for that. It sounded like somebody was squeezing me downstairs there, like I was in a bloody choir. I do apologise for that. Antonio Giovinazzi now then, just coming out of turn 6. Around turn 7 he goes. He's on a lap at the moment as the Italian makes his way around turn 8. Let's see what his middle sector is like. And he's 7 tenths down in the middle sector, using the curb on the outside through the right-hander. And then up towards the bus stop chicane we go, then through the right, then the left, and then into the right-hander he goes, using the curb on the outside. And so now up towards the hairpin goes the Italian, as he makes his way down the pit straight. And Giovinazzi now then is going to cross the line. No improvement, remains in 8th place, and he gets a checkered flag next to his name, so he's done for the remainder of the day. Sebastian Vettel just starting a lap now then. Rubens Barrichello also starting one as well, along with Kimi Räikkönen. As now we look at Räikkönen's teammate for today, Patrick Ajala, as he now makes his way out of the hairpin, heading down the pit straight. And Kajala now then will come across the line, and he gets the checkered flag to his name. He's got one more lap to complete, but he didn't improve that time by, as Lacey just slots behind him coming out on the track. Hulkenberg and Ocon expect to join a little bit. Here is Pascal Wehrlein. Out of the bus stop chicane he goes, through the right-hander, and then up towards the hairpin, the Lorenzo Corner goes Pascal Wehrlein, as he now makes his way down the straight. Wehrlein is going to come across the line. Can he improve? No, he can't. Remains in 17th place. Gets a checkered flag to his name, so we've got one more lap to complete. Gasly has the same thing. He didn't improve. Remains in 14th position. Vettel, meantime, 2 tenths down in the middle sector. Could be on for an improvement, but it depends how he hooks up this last sector. Out of the bus stop chicane then goes Sebastian Vettel through the right-hander, and then up towards the final corner will go the German. Let's see what he can try and do as he makes his way down the pit straight. Vettel across the line. He will go. Can he improve on his lap? And yes, he can. He goes up to 4th. So up to P4 there goes Sebastian Vettel. Gets a checkered flag. So he's now got one more lap to complete. Sainz starting a lap. Barrichello, same as Vettel, gets a checkered flag. So his name didn't improve on that lap. Same with Kimi Räikkönen, remains 5th. No improvement. Ocon just coming out on the track. Here is Daniel Ricciardo, currently in 7th. Can the Australian find some time to improve across the line? And no, he can't. Remains in 7th. Checkered flag. One more lap to do. Hamilton just starts a lap. Kajala doesn't improve. Remains in 9th place. Lacey just starts a lap. Behind him now then, Wehrlein round the bus stop chicane he goes, as he just makes his way around through these section of corners. So he just heads out of the right-hander now then up towards the hairpin goes Pascal Wehrlein. As now he goes down the pit straight. Wehrlein is going to come across the line. Can he improve on his lap? And no, he can't. Remains where he's at the moment. Hulkenberg just starting to lap himself. Pierre Gasly across the line he goes. Gasly remains in 14th place for the moment. Here is Sebastian Vettel making his way into the right, left, right chicane. So through the bus stop chicane there then goes Sebastian Vettel, as they called him on ITV back in the day, but it's Vettel it's pronounced. As through the hairpin now then, Vettel on his final flying lap comes down the pit straight, and Vettel is going to cross the line. No improvement, remains in 4th place. His engine blows down the straight, so Vettel with an engine failure, as Sainz improves to go up to 9th. Up to P9th there goes Carlos Sainz Jr. But Vettel has a blown engine. His Mercedes crying out with smoke. And that's not a scene that's been familiar from EMR for a long time, it must be said. Hamilton with the checkered flag. He doesn't improve, remains in 2nd place. Ricciardo didn't improve either. Alesi remains in 16th place. As Hulkenberg on a lap at the moment. Looks like his fellow compatriot Wehrlein is holding him up. But there's Vettel with a blown engine coming off the back of the EMR. And is it going to cry out? And on the final flying lap of the day, Vettel with a blown engine is probably going to pull over in a little bit. Unless he can get it back to the pits in time. He's scheduled to come back into the pits anyway, so it'd be a miracle. Anyway, nobody's improving at this moment, so that's that ready. But a blown engine for Sebastian Vettel as his Mercedes engine cries in smoke, as now he just heads out of Angel Nieto and then into the bus stop chicane. Raikkonen just getting past him there. Raikkonen's coming back into the pits as well. So Vettel now then makes his way around the section of turn, and Vettel should get it back into the pits anyway, which he does. And so that's that really, so they can sort that out when he gets back into the box. Here's Hamilton, his teammate just pulling to the left, Daniel Ricciardo. Let's see what Hamilton could do then on his final flying lap out of the final turn, and onto the pit straight he goes. Just over 2 minutes to go now then in the session. Hamilton across the line, no improvement, remains in second place on his final flying lap. Lacey just crosses the line to remain in 16th on his final flying lap that time by, as I'm pressing the wrong button. I do apologise. As here is Stoffel Van Dorn now on the lap. Van Dorn down in 20th. Let's see what he can do across the line, and he remains in 20th, no improvement. So he's just about to do another lap that time by, probably his final one, just due to how many minutes are left in the session. Here is Nico Hulkenberg. Can he improve on his lap? No, he can't. Remains in third on his final flying lap, but a good day's work for Nico nonetheless. Here is Charles Leclerc now then. Can he improve on his 1 minute 18.721? Leclerc heading down the pit straight, and the Monegasque is going to cross the line. And he doesn't improve, remains on 1 minute 18.721. He's got one more lap to complete, as he's now got a checkered flag next to his name. It's anybody else on the lap? Yes, Esteban Ocon making his way around the bus stop chicane now then. He's in the curb on the outside, and then up towards the final corner will come Esteban Ocon. Let's see what the Frenchman can do. Ocon now then heading down the pit straight, and across the line goes the Frenchman, and he does not improve. Ocon remaining in 11th place, so that's that for him really. It's a Lacey there then, just about getting the car stopped in time as he went into the pits. Van Dorn on his final flying lap now then, just making his way around these section turns now then up towards the final corner. And let's see what Stoffel can do, heading down the pit straight, and the Belgian now then comes across the line, and no improvement. Stoffel remains in 20th place. Perez about to start a lap himself, as will Hiroki Ashura. Leclerc on his far lap getting held up by the young Japanese driver, so that will not help him at all. Leclerc now then just going around the final two turns. Let's see what Leclerc can do then on his final flying lap as he makes his way around the hairpin. Leclerc making his way down the pit straight, and Leclerc now then is going to cross the line, and he does not improve, remaining for a 1 minute 18.721. So that's that for him really. As now we look at Sergio Perez, who's out there on the track. 5 seconds to go. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Checkered flag is out, and that is the end of the session then. Here's Perez going around the section of corners. The V12 Audi coming out the back of the Bud Light Lime now then. The engine noise out of that car. 5 tenths down in the second sector. We'll have to see if Perez is able to improve on that lap there then, as he comes out of Angel Nieto and then up towards the bus stop chicane for the right, then the left, and then into the double right-hander he goes before approaching Lorenzo Corner, which is the final turn on the racetrack now. Then Perez up towards the final corner, and then onto the pit straight he will go. Perez now then across the line goes Checo. Can he improve on his lap? And no, he can't. Remains where he is at the moment in 12th. He's got one more lap to do before he finishes for the day, because that's how X-Patch works. Here's Ashura now then, up towards the final turn goes the young Japanese driver, as he just comes out of that final turn. And Ashura now then across the line and does not improve, remains in 15th. One more lap to do for him. Here's his teammate Ed Jones Up towards the final turn goes the Emirates driver. Had a good day today, it must be said, as Ed Jones making his way out of the final turn and onto the pit straight. Goes the Emirates driver. Can he improve? And no, he can't. Jones remains in 13th position. Romain Grosjean making his way out of the final turn. Can he improve on his lap? And no, he can't. Remains 18th. One more lap to do before he packs it in. But he'll be very angry with that today, I'm sure. Bottas across the line, he will go. And he remains in 6th. No improvement for him. One more lap to do for him as well. Here comes Dixon into the final turn. And see what the Kiwi can do. Coming to last, can he get out of that dreaded last place? Across the line goes Scott Dixon. No, he can't. Remains 22nd, and that's him done for the day. Perez out of the final turn and onto the pit straight he will go. And let's see what he can do. Perez does not improve and remains in 12th place for the moment. As Ricciardo now then makes his way out of these final few turns. Let's see what the young Japanese driver can do as he makes his way down the pit straight. And Ashura now then crosses the line and he does not improve, remains where he is at this stage. Here comes Ed Jones making his way now then up towards the final corner, heading down the pit straight, and Jones now then will come across the line. Can he improve? No, he can't. Remains where he is at the moment in 13th place. Here comes Romain Grosjean. Grosjean now then across the line he goes and does not improve, remains where he is at the moment. Here comes Valtteri Bottas. Can he improve on his final flying lap? And no, he can't. Remains where he is. Dixon just left to finish, I think. In fact, he's going back in. In fact, I think that is going to do it. That is the end of the day one here at RF. So after all of that, here are the results of day one here at the Circuito DRF Angel Nieto circuit. Charles Leclerc finished on top with Hamilton 2nd, Hulkenberg 3rd, Vettel 4th, Raikkonen 5th, Bottas 6th, Ricciardo 7th, Giovinazzi 8th, Sainz 9th, Kvyat 10th, Ocon 11th, Perez 12th, Jones 13th, Gasly 14th, Ashura 15th, followed by Lacey in 16th, Verline 17th, Grosjean 18th, Barrichello 19th, Van Dorn 20th, Power 21st, and Dixon in 22nd position. So we will wait for Bottas to go back into the pits. We'll remind you of what the leaderboard looked like then as soon as he comes back in, so if you can just about see that, and then we will conclude this live stream there as Bottas now then makes his way through the bus stop chicane now then on the track. So he just comes off the turn now then through the right-hander as he'll peel to the left, which he does. Into the pits comes Valtteri Bottas, and he said free practice over just briefly. It should go back to the main menu, which it does. So there you have it then. That is the end of day one here at the ref. A reminder then of the leaderboard: Charles Leclerc fastest, Lewis Hamilton 2nd, Nico Hulkenberg 3rd, Sebastian Vettel 4th, Kimi Raikkonen 5th, Valtteri Bottas 6th, Daniel Ricciardo 7th, Antonio Giovinazzi 8th, Carlos Sainz Jr. 9th, Patrick Kvyat 10th, Esteban Ocon 11th, Sergio Perez 12th, Ed Jones 13th, Pierre Gasly 14th, Ricciardo 15th, Giuliano Alesi 16th, Pascal Wehrlein 17th, Romain Grosjean 18th, Rins Barrichello 19th, Stoffel Van Dorn 20th, Will Power 21st, and Scott Dixon in 22nd and last. So there you have it then, guys. That has been it for day one here at the ref. I hope you enjoyed. It's been a very interesting day, and still quite close at the top, but it looks like the pack has started to separate themselves out just a bit, but that could be down to the nature of the track. But there you have it then, guys. That has been it. Hope you enjoyed it. We will see you then, guys, tomorrow at 3 PM GMT due to the qualifying session for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix of Formula 1. So we'll see you tomorrow at 3 PM GMT for day 2 here at the ref. But until then, that has been it. Hope you enjoyed it. So thank you very much for watching. I've been JWF1, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 2 here at the ref. Till then, take care.